Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Just want to remind everybody tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, we're going to have storm chaser Jen Walton, who runs Girls Who Chase, as our special guests, and you can certainly put your questions up on the chat board. We continue to see an active weather pattern with several storms in play over the next 7 to 8 days. And front and center will be a snowstorm in the plains that's heading to the western lakes. And we'll have much more, of course, in the long range tonight again on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. They've got mulch, they've got salt, they've got sand, and they've got snow blowers and plenty of the snow and ice melt products. If you need new shovels or scrapers, whatever it is, should we get a winter storm, and maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that we could see some snow out of one of these storms, probably the last one, but we'll talk more about that. 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. So we're going to start off with the satellite loop, and we've had a fairly nice day, although there are some clouds out to the west in Pennsylvania and Ohio and down across much of the south. You're seeing a lot of lightning strikes showing up now in the middle and lower Mississippi Valley back to East Texas, where a cold front is sweeping through, and a rotation around a storm that is in Kansas and headed for the western part of the Great Lakes, and they're going to see some solid snows out of this. Not much going on the radar in the Northeast. Still a little bit of leftover snow here and sleet in parts of eastern Maine from the old ocean storm from a few days ago, but up and down the East Coast, the radars are quiet. But now you can see what's going on here in the middle of the country. We've got some severe weather in parts of Arkansas and into northwest Louisiana. Rain and some heavy rains moving into Illinois and Indiana. And also an arc of, rain showers and some heavier downpours swinging through eastern Kansas. And across Nebraska, it is snow. And that extends back into parts of Colorado, where we've got snow going on there. And just to check out the watches and warnings, we have winter storm warnings over a large area from northeast Colorado and southeast Wyoming, virtually the whole state of Nebraska, parts of South Dakota, northwestern Iowa, southern Minnesota, and into western Wisconsin. Winter storm watch is up for eastern Wisconsin as well as for the upper peninsula of Michigan, and we've got winter weather advisories surrounding that. Working tornado watch at 2 p.m. Eastern Time in southeast Arkansas and back over to northwestern Louisiana with a weather front that is moving to the east. And we even have some winter weather advisories and a few winter storm warnings still hanging on in parts of the west. 7-day precip amounts are going to be sizable, with 3 storm systems moving through the eastern part of the United States. Cumulatively, we're looking at anywhere from 1.5 inches in western Pennsylvania to 2 inches of liquid plus as you move to New Jersey, and even some 2.5 to 3 inch amounts possible in southeastern New England. And those heavier precip amounts go up into Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Also in the southeast, seeing rains of 2 to maybe as much as 3 inches over the next 7 days from the southeast down to the central Gulf. Snow-wise, here's the probability of at least 2, with 100% probability from northeastern Colorado into northern Michigan. This is pretty much the area that covers the winter storm warnings. And when we look at the probability for at least 8, we have a near 100% probability in the eastern half of Nebraska and some 50% amounts showing up in northeastern Wisconsin and on the upper peninsula of Michigan. In the long range, and we're going to jump to Sunday here, Sunday into Monday, we do have some snow being indicated. This is the probability of at least, let's call it 3 inches in the light green, 10 to 30%. That is just north and west of New York City and Philadelphia. And you get into the darker greens in central PA, from the Catskills northward up into the Adirondacks. There's a 30 to 50% chance, and that extends into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And that blue is 50 to 70%. So these storms are dealing with a marginal amount of cold air, not the first one, which is going to come through on Thursday, but the second and third one have a little more cold air to play with. So We are, of course, enjoying this really nice day here. Overall, as the clouds start to roll in, and we'll take a look at what the models are doing here. You see this first low running up into northeastern Missouri. Rain arrives here during Thursday morning across eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England, and it should be done by early Friday morning as the low moves into western New York and then just sort of does a center jump and redevelops southeast of Cape Cod and moves away. We'll turn a little colder behind that Friday into Saturday, and here comes the next one. A lot of that energy that's been coming into the west is now has an open alleyway into the east as the ridge in the east is kind of flattened out a bit. So we've got the next low centered over New Orleans on Sunday morning, and you see it moving northeastward, some snow breaking out in Illinois and Indiana. That low, at least on the GFS, I'm showing you a track here on this model, is the furthest west of all the other models. The others are a little bit further to the east and a little colder, which opened the door to the possibility of maybe some snow, perhaps into eastern Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania, maybe northwest New Jersey, and areas north of Route 84 as that low goes by. We'll see that go from later Sunday night into Monday. Turns a little colder behind that. Not exceptionally cold, just maybe temperatures down closer to normal. And then here comes the third in a series on Tuesday. This low comes out a little further east, and that rides up off the Carolinas, pushing precipitation up the eastern seaboard. I think if there's going to be any accumulating snows going on in the next 10 or 11 days, it's the system for a week from now that probably has the best chance. This may have more colder air to play with. And again, the GFS is the warmest and furthest west of all the models, while the other ones are a little bit more to the east. And then it turns significantly colder behind that storm late next week and going into next weekend. So kind of busy here with respect to everything that's going on. And we're going to cover it all tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. Weather in 5 is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. So tune in tonight at 7:35. Remember, Jed Walton, Girls Who Chase, our special guest.